A limited liability company, or LLC, is a business structure in the United States where the owners are not personally liable for the company's debts or liabilities. LLCs are hybrid entities that combine the characteristics of a corporation with those of a partnership or sole proprietorship. But wait, there's more than just that. Today in this video, I will briefly discuss the features of an LLC, how it protects your personal assets, how taxes work with LLC, a discussion of working on a formation service, as well as the pros and cons of LLCs. At the end of the video, I will also give you my top picks and recommendation for an LLC company according to your business needs, so watch out for that. Without any further ado, let's get started. LLC features. Each state has different laws when it comes to forming LLCs. Other states have it more complicated while some have easier processes. Here I will discuss the most common features that are found in almost all states. Limited liability. One of the benefits of an LLC is that the employees, members, and managers have limited liability. It simply means that you are not liable for the wrongdoings and legal errors of their fellow members. However, even though you are protected in this regard, you are, nonetheless, liable for your own business misdeeds. Separate entity. In almost all states, an LLC is a separate legal organization that can own property, hire attorneys, and sell or buy property on its own. It differs from its owners, which are not liable for the corporation's responsibilities. Tax ease. This feature gives the members of the corporation an option to tax themselves either as a sole proprietorship, a partnership, or as a C or S corporation. By choosing the right type of corporate structure, it helps the LLC members to decide which is the most suitable and profitable for them. Flexibility. The member has the power of choice about the extent of his or her relation with the business. It is fully the member's decision to whether or not continue in the same company or create their new one. How does an LLC protect your personal assets? You have to make sure that your LLC records and financials are up to date. You also have to ensure that invoices, purchase orders, and other key financials shouldn't combine with any personal finances. For anyone you do business with, you must give them a heads up that they are dealing with a separate entity from your personal engagements. Appropriate insurance coverage is also essential. As a business owner, you must evaluate your responsibilities and risks in order to determine the appropriate degree of liability protection. Your industry associations are a wonderful place to look for advice on how to make sure you have the proper level of insurance. Here's a quick question for you. What is your business that you're looking to form an LLC for? Let me know in the comment section below. How are LLCs taxed? Taxes are handled and collected differently depending on the type of your LLC. Let's find out which one will be the perfect tax guideline for you as we go along. Self-employment taxes. LLC members are not employees but self-employed business owners. Contributions to the Social Security and Medicare systems are not withheld from their paychecks. Instead, most LLC owners are required to pay the self-employment tax directly to the IRS. Multi-owner LLCs. The IRS treats co-owned LLCs as partnerships for tax purposes. Co-owned LLCs themselves do not pay taxes on business income. Instead, the LLC owners each pay taxes on their lawful share of the profits on their personal income tax returns with the Schedule E attached. Just a reminder to keep in mind, each LLC member's share of profits and losses, called a distributive share, is set out in the LLC operating agreement. Single-owner LLCs. On the other hand, the IRS treats one-member LLCs as sole proprietorships for tax purposes. This means that the LLC itself does not pay taxes and does not have to file a return with the IRS. As the sole owner of your LLC, you must report all profits or losses of the LLC on Schedule C and submit it with your 1040 tax return. Even if you leave profits in the company's bank account at the end of the year, for instance, to cover future expenses or expand the business, you must pay taxes on that money. Do you like the level of detail I'm providing you in my review so far? If yes, then make sure to let me know by liking my video and hit that subscribe button for more high-quality content that I will be releasing every week. Using a formation service. Now I want to talk about the process of forming LLCs. LLC filing fees range from $40 to $500. As of 2021, the average cost to form an LLC in the US is $132. However, just because certain states have lower fees does not mean it is easier to form an LLC. It could even end up costing you a lot more money. The first step is, of course, branding your business formation. Choose a name for your LLC and make sure that it is not taken. Often for a small fee, you can reserve your LLC name for a short period of time until you file your articles of organization. Step 2. The next step is to file your articles of organization. Then choose a registered agent. The registered agent must have a physical street address in the state where the LLC is registered. Is it possible to proceed without getting a registered agent? Absolutely. There are DIY options that you can choose if you think hiring a registered agent is not necessary. You can watch my other video about that here. Step 3. Moving on, you will have to decide on member versus manager management. Most small LLCs choose to be managed directly by their members, but LLCs can appoint one or more people to manage the LLC with specified authority. Step 4. The next process is creating an LLC operating agreement, which is oftentimes the most tedious part of it all. But if you already know by heart the rules and vision you want to implement, this would be an easy one. This will govern how your LLC operates, and this internal document will establish how your LLC will run. Step 5. After creating your operating agreement, make sure to comply with tax and regulatory requirements such as Employer Identification Number or EIN. Keep in mind that you must obtain an EIN only if the LLC will have employees or you elect to have it taxed as a corporation instead of a sole proprietorship. Step 6. Moving forward, you also have to file your annual reports. This is due to the fact that many states require LLCs to file an annual report with a filing fee. Lastly, you need to do an out-of-state LLC registration. An important note to remember, to do business in a state other than the state where your LLC was formed, you will need to register your LLC in that state and appoint a registered agent for service or process. Pros and cons of LLCs. Now that you know the steps in forming an LLC, let's talk about its ups and downs. Pros. Here are the highlights of forming an LLC. An LLC is an affordable and low-risk way of effectively forming small businesses with an expectation of an investment return. It also gives the opportunity for LLC owners to keep and protect their personal assets besides their liabilities and finances of the business. Filing an LLC is also not a difficult process to deal with, and when it comes to the load of paperwork, it is relatively low in maintenance. With the use of technology right now, paperwork can be completed online in less than an hour. Different legal service companies have varying websites, especially when it comes to ease of use, but pretty much everything is straightforward and instructions are set to walk users through. Just be extra careful about upselling. Credibility is also one thing to be proud of when it comes to businesses. Having that legal state-issued stamp of approval on a business creates a fine line between formality and the opposite. It is important that your business is formalized, and this is more achievable with LLC than a partnership or sole proprietorship. In fact, some businesses eventually switch from sole proprietorship to LLC over time because the latter offers additional protections and tax benefits. Moreover, a key feature of an LLC is the simplicity of profit distribution to members, not in the form of compensation, but rather in the form of profit distributions or a draw of funds from your part of the profit accounts. Cons. Now let's get into some of its downsides. In order to keep an LLC in good standing, certain states require annual reports which need critical observation and attention to details. Fees, reports, and tedious paperwork and filing processes are sometimes associated with these. Furthermore, due to pass-through taxes to the owner's personal tax return, owners and members must keep separate financial records to prevent personal liability, which needs separate bank accounts, so brace yourself for some more finance-related paperwork, which I personally hate, to be honest. While an LLC is a low-risk business formation option, it can also be a delicate balance. It is because even while the membership and ownership structure is extremely flexible, allowing for any number or type of owners, a change to the infrastructure may need to complete remodeling of the LLC. Worst-case scenario is going back to zero. Also, because LLCs do not have the ability to issue stock like corporations, the only way to invest in one is to become a contributing member and co-owner. In some cases, LLCs are seen by outside investors as riskier ventures with a lot more red tape than a high-return corporation investment. Employees of an LLC must treat fringe benefits such as group insurance, medical reimbursement schemes, medical insurance, and parking as taxable income. Employees who possess more than 2% of an S corporation are subject to the same rules. Employees of a C corporation, on the other hand, do not have to disclose their fringe benefits as taxable income. Recommendation. I have to admit it, LLC is a vast topic to learn, but with this basic information, I'm pretty sure that you will be able to have enough details to think about starting your own LLC. As I have mentioned at the beginning of the video as a bonus, I will give you my top picks if you decide to get an LLC business formation service. Here we go. If you're looking forward to starting your business formation for the lowest cost possible of $0, then InkFile is your go-to. If you're on a tight budget but want to try as many services as possible, you can choose the newest kit around the block in our top overall pick, Zen Business. Lastly, if your needs and wants are more inclined to legal paperwork or a bit of legal guidance every now and then, the perfect match will be Rocket Lawyer. If you want to get started with forming an LLC based on your state, you can definitely find the tutorial for you in my videos. I'll see you over there in that next discussion.